Hey guys, it's the Dutch Transformers and welcome to this brand new The Sims 4 speed build. So finally I'm here with a Parenthood themed speed build. I know it's very late because this new game pack, which I'll talk more about later on, came out like I believe 2 weeks ago or like 1.5 weeks ago, something like that. But as you probably know as well, I was in Bali to have a good holiday, which I'll talk about later on a little bit more about as well. But yeah, today I'm finally building a family themed house, and I must say it's a traditional house, as you probably already noticed, and that's not really my specialty, but I think in the end it really did turn out to look cool. But I sort of had a hard time figuring out what I wanted to do and yeah, how I wanted to furnish everything, and therefore this is a really long speed build, 34 minutes as you can see, or even longer because I didn't even count like the actual fly through at the end. But anyways, I think it's a really cool one. It's a huge house. I personally thought this was like a traditional sort of countryside family house where also grandpa and grandma lived. Because I believe in the US it's a little bit more usual to have your grandma and grandpa live at your house. Here in Holland some people have it, but I don't really actually know anyone who has it, so maybe that's more in the countryside where I don't really live. But yeah, it's especially based on like America, and generally it's just a cool looking house with many bedrooms and some children activities and a big garden, and that's sort of what I saw as a family house. But I will also create a more modern family house sometime soon. But yeah, if you'd like to see that at least, so let me know in the comments down below if you would like me to do that, and then I'll try that as well, because I'm just a lot better at creating modern houses if you ask me. That's just my opinion, but probably many of you will share that with me. But yeah, in the end this one actually turned out to look pretty cool as well, but I just have to spend much more time and effort into actually turning it into something good looking, just because it's not something I can do as naturally sort of as modern houses. But yeah, Bali was really cool. I went there after my exams, which I have really good news about as well, because I have passed my exams, which means that I've graduated. For the Dutch people, I did VWO exams, and I actually managed to finish it cum laude, which means that you have like an 8.0 average, which is like pretty like sort of exceptional, sort of, yeah, it's just pretty good, which I'm very happy with. And now I've got months of holidays during which I can create many videos. But yeah, recently there haven't been very many videos because I had to study for these exams, but I'm so happy that I did actually graduate, and therefore all the hard work was actually just for a good cause, I guess. And yeah, in the end, you know, it's all good, and I can finally just enjoy my big holiday. And I will upload for many more videos, but recently it just didn't really work out, also because I went to Bali, which I already mentioned. But I really had a good time there as well. I went there with friends after the exams, and you can check out photos on my Instagram. Look for @DutchSims4Master or @DutchSimsMaster, something like that. I believe it's DutchSims4Master. And then you can see what I did there. I went to the beach, I went to rice fields. I actually climbed a mountain as well at sunrise, even though the sunrise sort of a little bit sucked, but if you compare it to some photos which we saw on the internet, but still it was really cool to actually like climb an actual volcano and do that during the sunrise with like hundreds of people who all just had a flashlight, and furthermore there were just stars everywhere. It was really cool. But I don't know if I actually uploaded a photo of that. Maybe I should post a photo of that. But anyways, just follow me there on Instagram, because it would be really cool if I had like more followers there, because then you can also stay up to date with the YouTube stuff I'm doing, but also just the holidays and all the other stuff. So yeah, the link is in the description down below. And yeah, this is the new pack, Parenthood. That's what this build is sort of based on. Whenever a pack comes out, I always try to create a build which is really focused on that one theme of the pack. In this case, it's just a family house, because Parenthood obviously fits the theme of, you know, family stuff. And next week on Tuesday, which is like coming up very soon, because today or I'm planning on uploading this on Saturday, but on Tuesday a new pack will release, which is a stuff pack. It's a little bit smaller than the game packs, as you probably know, but it's fitness based, and there are some really cool modern items coming with that. I think I'll build like a gym, maybe that's a cool idea. And then, yeah, you can check that out later on my channel as well. And I'm planning on uploading more SketchUp as well. If you haven't ever seen a SketchUp video of mine, and you are like interested in architecture, you should definitely check it out, because it is really cool. It's more realistic than The Sims. It's just a little bit more professional as well. It's not as, yeah, you know, it's not a game. It's not The Sims. The Sims is a game you can actually play in the house, and it's just different. But in the end, the result of those SketchUp videos are really cool as well. And definitely, if you're into architecture, you'll like it. And very many people seem to like it, especially the older SketchUp videos, which I do, which is sort of strange, because actually recently the SketchUp videos have like improved a lot in quality, but those videos haven't been seen a lot yet. But yeah, a new video which I'm working on right now as well is turning out to be really cool as well. It's sort of based on the Balinese house, but then yeah, modern, which, yeah, I think you should really check out when it's online. It's not online right now yet, but maybe I can post like, you should just check out the channel, or follow me follow me on Instagram, because then you can also find out more about it. But yeah, I'm very curious to hear from you what you think of this house, and also to hear from you what you would like me to see uploading more on my channel, because like I said, I have very much time during the upcoming couple of weeks to create videos, and I'm planning on really getting the channel sort of to the next level. I'm also planning on maybe building out the SketchUp architecture part a little bit more, not just on the channel, but also just maybe creating a website for SketchUp projects, which I do aside from YouTube, which are pretty cool to do as well, but I would like to make that a little bit more professional. But I would really like to hear from you what kind of videos you'd like me to make, because nowadays so many people create Sims videos, and it's sort of hard for me to judge what people would like to see, because so many things have been done already. But yeah, that's sort of the thing. And also, you know, we're so close to 100,000 subscribers. We're about to pass 95,000, so only 5,000 left, which is still quite a lot. And recently, like the past month during my exams was actually like one of my worst months since 3 years, which is crazy. But it's very, yeah, it's understandable as well, because I have nearly never uploaded that or that like small amount of videos. So it's not very strange, but still it sort of sucks, because, you know, you always want to see the channel grow a lot, and then it grows a lot less. But it's, you know, I expected that already a long time ago, when I started, or just after I started. I was like, if I ever have to do like those exams, I'll have to like shut down my channel or something. It's still going strong, but not as strong as it used to, I guess. But you know, once I continue uploading again, which I'm starting to do like right now with this video, it will all be fine. I also know that I came back from Bali and I still didn't upload that much, but that's simply because I thought, you know, I'm just going to do a speed build on the new Parenthood thing, and then I realized, oh, you know, I just started, and then I realized, okay, I'm building a family house, which means that it's big, and like seriously really big, which is what you see me building right now. And as you can see, it is pretty big. So that just took so much time, and I hadn't actually planned that, or at least I didn't really think about that. So that was the reason why even a week after I came back, I still hadn't uploaded like an actual speed build yet, but at least it's a big speed build now, and like a 35-minute speed build, so I guess you will be happy now. And then the next ones will be a little bit smaller, so that I can upload a little bit more. Also, generally, I think smaller builds aren't necessarily worse. It really depends, you know. Personally, I really prefer modern builds, so I think this one is cool, and I can imagine that people like this, but it's not my favorite build, because it's just not the style I like. But in modern houses, sometimes, even though they're smaller, they can like be my favorite. Big modern houses, like then I go full on, and it just takes so much time that I can only like upload once a month, which is what you shouldn't be liking, I guess. So I just find a balance sort of. I'll also start a let's build. That's also something I want your opinion on, because what sort of let's build would you like to see me do? Maybe I can do like a gym let's build. That's what I just realized. Well, actually saying this, I just realized, okay, we've got that new fitness stuff pack, and then maybe it's cool to build a gym as a let's build. Okay, I think that's actually the plan. If you like that, let me know. If you don't, then let me know what a suggestion is for something else I could do, because just letting me know that you don't like it doesn't really help me, because then I don't have an idea what you do like. But yeah, here I'm struggling with the interior and especially the layout, because yeah, I just had such a hard time figuring out the layout, because I didn't really take that into consideration when doing the rest of the build. And then yeah, it's sort of stupid, I know. Nowadays I try to focus more on the layout as well, but I sort of forgot it for this build, especially since, modern builds are easier to have a more simple shape, I guess, but this one has had such a strange shape, and you had to work with all those roofs that it was sort of hard to do. But in the end, it worked out. It's not the most logical interior, I know, and if you like interiors, you maybe shouldn't check out this video, especially if you like modern interiors. This is definitely not for you, but just keep listening to this video or just keep watching it, whatever. But know that this is not my favorite interior ever, simply because it's not the style I like. Modern interiors is what I'm like getting better at. I used to be like really bad at interiors. Nowadays it's not that bad, but for traditional houses it's just a style which I personally always feel like it's sort of a mess. So then in the game I also try to make it look like a mess, but then it looks like a mess, and that's not what looks really cool. So yeah, that's sort of the problem I've got when creating traditional houses. I don't know what the problem is, or how other people do manage to fix the problem, sort of. But yeah, maybe I should start doing like better layouts also for traditional houses. And also, one of the problems with this house was that I had like worked on it for like 2 hours already, creating the exterior, and then I still had to do like the interior, and then the motivation is gone. And yeah, that's sort of hard, because yeah, this build just took so long to create that yeah, in the end the motivation was sort of gone. But that's the good point of doing YouTube videos. Now back in the day when I didn't do like videos, I didn't have to finish anything. So then whenever I was starting the interior, I liked it. And then I did like the living room and then the kitchen. That's the part which I like enjoy. But I always hate creating bedrooms, simply because you have to create so many of those and you can't really be creative. Also in The Sims 4, I don't think the items for the bedrooms are very good, to be honest. I don't really like the beds, the looks of them. It's just not really cool, and you cannot be very creative with it. So then after the living room and the kitchen, I'd simply stop. But yeah, if you create a video, you of course have to finish the entire thing, which really helped me to work on something and then actually finish it. Because when I was much younger, I never finished anything. And I noticed that I have actually learned something like very important for life just due to YouTube. Well, we shouldn't over-exaggerate, but sort of, that's what you could say, and have a good reason to say that YouTube is like really good to do. But yeah, here you see that I now have colors on the walls. Yeah, that was sort of tough as well to choose those colors, because I realized that whenever you design a building in The Sims, you should actually take into consideration already what you should give a specific color, because that's very important. Because in this case it was sort of awkwardly shaped, and therefore it was very hard to give it a good looking painting job, I guess. But if you take that into consideration already, it is much easier. But sometimes it just works out perfectly. And the walls, this might be very confusing for you, but if you do recognize this, please let me know, because this is probably a very recognizable point, but I'm just not explaining it very clearly. But if you get the shape right, and then the painting is sort of easy to do. But if you get the shape, you have sort of a strange shape, it's very hard to choose good paintings and materials, simply because it just doesn't work out, and it doesn't have a logical shape, sort of. In this case, in the end, it did work out. It looks pretty cool, but I think if I'd put even more effort into it afterwards, it would have been able to turn out cooler. But I just wanted it, like I also considered adding colors, but then I felt like that wouldn't make it much more realistic. So in the end, I added these potted things in front of the windows just to add some color and some detail. But that's it. Like I said, I'm not the biggest expert on creating traditional houses, but yeah, if you do like it, please let me know. You can download this one from the gallery, by the way. Look for gallery ID Dutch Sims Master, and then so no 4 in the name, just Dutch Sims Master, and then you should be able to download it. And then you can change whatever you want. If you want to turn this entire house like red, feel free to do so. But yeah, what else can I talk? I should talk more about my holiday. I always find it interesting, by the way, to read the comments, or funny to read some comments of people saying that they just hate it whenever I don't really talk much about the build, because I feel like, in this case, I have talked a lot about the build already, but sometimes I simply don't, because it's so boring to sort of talk about that all the time, because it's sort of the same and you can see what's happening. Sometimes when there is like a serious thinking process, which I did, then of course I explain it, but then further on I like to talk about other stuff, because I personally always find that much more interesting to listen to. But about my holiday, Bali is really cool, and yeah, I like how diverse it was. I didn't go to Kuta that much because me and my friends were like not really old enough yet to go there, and there's very many backpackers there, and it's cool, but we're just younger. I'm still 17, so we realized that it's like for later on, if we ever go there and we're like backpacking, it's really cool to go there. We went there like a few times, but not all the time like very many tourists do, because that's, I think, one of the negative things which people say about Bali is the fact that it's so like touristy and so many tourists go there, and I personally felt like it wasn't too touristy in the places we went to. It's just you have the benefits of the fact that they're used to tourists, but I didn't actually feel like I was between tourists all the time, which felt good. And of course, if you're climbing a mountain at sunrise, of course it's just tourists, but it wasn't really, yeah, I didn't negatively affect the trip, if you ask me. And generally, it's just crazy how cheap Bali is, sort of, or probably Indonesia in general, but I didn't go to the rest of Indonesia, so I can't say it for that. But like the currency is €1 equals 15,000 rupiah, which meant that I was like instantly like a millionaire, because you only needed to at an ATM, you only needed to get like €66, and then you were a millionaire, which is crazy. And then food was like not expensive at all, and we were even able to spend nights at a villa, which normally we would never be able to afford. With like, we just worked hard for this trip, sort of. I did these YouTube videos, but others worked at like a supermarket, just doing regular teenage jobs, and then we were able to stay at like this villa with an infinity pool. Without it being like immensely expensive, sort of. So that's strange how different it is. And yeah, how at our age we were able to afford that without like being those extremely rich kids whose parents just pay for that and who just always spend time at those places. Okay, this is sort of a strange explanation maybe, but the main idea of this is it's just so cheap to go there. If you ever want to sort of feel rich, even though you're not, just go there. And then it's really cool. Also, the people are very friendly, and at times it sort of maybe feels like they see you or they're friendly because they know you're a tourist and you'll pay for like stuff they do. But generally they are actually friendly as well, but there's also people who just are friendly because you're a tourist. So I guess you'll always have that in any country, especially in Asia. But I did find the people friendly, and whenever you smile, they seem to be happy with a smile, and they also smiled back. So that's just cool. But if anyone has ever been to Bali, please let me know what you thought of it. Anything else I did there? I actually also went to a waterfall, which was crazy, because first we went to like a more well-known waterfall, Tegenunang it was the name. All the names there are like crazy, like Tegalalang, was like the name of a rice field. It's just such a crazy language. But that first waterfall we went to was like sort of touristy, and there were like tourist shops all around, and you always had to. There were just very many people around the waterfall. It did look cool, but on the pictures it looked cooler because those pictures were taken in the rainy season, and we weren't there in the rainy season. But then we were planning on going to another waterfall already, so that was good because we went to that one, and we had to walk like 509 steps. We just looked up such a list with the coolest waterfalls in Bali on the internet, and then we found these ones. The name was Kontinuum, and that waterfall was like crazy big. It looked really cool, and there was like nearly no one. There were a few people, but like you could just see the waterfall without anyone on it, and there were like I think 10 people or something, so really not that much. And that was really a crazy experience seeing that waterfall, and it was big and it made noise, and yeah, it was so cool. So if you ever go to Bali, you should definitely visit waterfalls, and then also the ones which are a little bit less known. It was 509 steps, but I personally thought it would be much more. It wasn't that much, and I also really like if I go to something special like that, like a waterfall, to actually do something before you see it. So actually do some exercise or walk some stairs before you can actually see it, because otherwise, you know, in that way you feel sort of like you deserve to see it, and you like worked hard to actually see it. And otherwise, if it's just like a regular road just along the waterfall and you can already see it, it's not really special. And also there's very many more people then, so if you're sort of fit, you can just walk there, and it's really cool to see it. And furthermore, yeah, it was just really cool to see all the places there, and the nature was cool and the weather was good. And yeah, anyways, about the gardening, because I should also talk a little bit more about the build, maybe. In this way I can sort of equal it, you know, talking about the build, talking about other stuff, talking about the build again. But yeah, currently I'm starting working on the interior again. I just worked on the layout, so I'm continuing working on the layout. I just did the garden, which I felt turned out to look pretty cool, because you know, I wanted some play stuff for the children, because it's like a parenthood house, a family house, so then you definitely need that. So I added like the pool, which is obvious, it's not necessarily for children, but also that hanging thing, and just many places for them to play, because that's also one of the reasons I built it here in this Windenburg area, because the lot was big and it just looked natural, and this was the style I was planning on building in, sort of the style which this house is created in, and I felt like that would fit best in this area. So here I'm creating the hallway, and I had like a very tough time creating this. In the end, I'm not really proud of the way this one turned out, because for some reason the roof just went right into this hallway, and you know, it just looks messy. I tried to fix it, and in the end it worked a little bit, but it's still definitely not the best hallway I ever did. And generally the interior is cool, but won't blow your socks off, sort of. But yeah, I did use very many items of this new pack, which look cool. They're not really my style, if I'm honest. I'm looking forward to the fitness stuff pack much more, because those items are like much more modern, and therefore I will use them much more. But I can imagine that if you like traditional items, then this is definitely like a good pack for you. And also if you just like this family items, sort of, it's just cool to have them. But generally for me, it's not the biggest addition to the game, sort of. But there are other packs which do add much more, if you ask me. Here in the back, I had some sort of entrance living room for guests. That's sometimes what you see at very big houses, I believe. And then back there, we've also got the area for grandpa and grandma. And also the television living room area is part of their place, sort of. Because like I said in the beginning of this video, I created this video with in mind the fact that maybe the grandparents also live in the house, but then they do sort of want their own section, so I added it over there. They also have their own bathroom, and yeah, it just felt logical to me, sort of, even though it's not a very normal thing here in the Netherlands to have your parents or grandparents live at your house. Here we've got the kitchen, and honestly, in the Netherlands I hate kitchens like these, and generally I just think they look ugly. But yeah, it just felt wrong to add like a full modern kitchen in here. I know people just wouldn't like it, so I had to add this. I do think it's cool. The items are realistic and it's perfect for like the around the world speed builds, but it's not something I would like to see in my own house, sort of. But I did try to add as many, Parenthood stuff items or Parenthood game pack items in this house. So that's just the way it worked out with that kitchen as well. And in the end, this is the most realistic thing, or the most realistic kitchen I could add in the house, I guess. But anyways, talking about like new packs coming out for The Sims 4, as you've probably noticed, it's been such a long time since the last expansion pack that it really starts to seem, or maybe they've also confirmed it already, that we only get one expansion pack for The Sims 4 a year, which I personally think is really not enough. Like, as a content creator for The Sims 4, it is never enough packs, because I would personally really like to see anything like every month or maybe every 2 weeks, because I can always create many more videos about it then. But I really notice how just the hype for The Sims 4 just gradually slows down when no pack is being released. And of course these game packs are cool, but they don't hype everyone up as much, and they just don't add as many new aspects to the game as expansion packs do. There are very many rumors about the next pack being animals or pets, probably pets, but maybe it's called like Animal Life or whatever, which is cool because for some reason I never played The Sims 4 free pets back when we had The Sims 3, because I never bought that one, and back then I just couldn't buy like any of, or at least not all the expansion packs yet. So I didn't buy that one for some reason, even though it was quite a big pack, I believe. And very many people would be happy if that's coming. But still, what I personally miss most of The Sims 4 is just terrain tools. I really hope those are coming sometime soon, because then for me the game is like finished, sort of. But right now I do notice that it would be so much cooler if I would be able to edit the terrain, because then you have so many more opportunities with The Sims to build, sort of. And looking back at my Sims 3 builds, which I recently did, I recently looked them back, not the builds which I recently did, because I didn't really recently did any Sims 3 builds, which is really getting confusing right now. But I noticed that it was so cool to just create your entire own landscape with lakes and mountains and just cool driveways. It was so much fun, and you would be able to be so much more creative, but it seems like it's just never coming. People say that the engine can't run it, which I personally think is really stupid, because they should have just created an engine which can run it. But, I don't know that much about it, but it's just something that's so necessary for the game, if you ask me. But it seems like they don't really think it's a very necessary part, and maybe we don't want it enough. But I would personally find it really cool if we did have it. But I'm very curious to hear from you what kind of packs you would like to see for The Sims 4. I know that pets is like very popular, but let me know what else you would like to see. Personally, pets isn't my biggest wish, sort of. Like I said, terrain tools is much more important than like 2 expansion packs together, if you ask me. But otherwise, Island Paradise, something like that, something very tropical, a tropical world, is what I really would like to see, because tropical worlds are simply just really lacking in this game. We simply don't have any tropical worlds, which I don't really like. And then that is basically, is there anything else I would like to see? I think, yeah, a tropical world, if I could only just choose one, is what I would like to have most, with boats. Cars would be really cool to have, but aren't very necessary. But just garage doors would be cool already to have, because then you can actually create garages and then just add one car and I'm happy. But right now that doesn't seem to be coming like tomorrow, but maybe someday it will. But I just realized that The Sims is almost 3 or 4 years old. I think it's 2017. I think it's almost 3 years old, which is like pretty crazy, because we've only had 3 expansion packs so far. I think the next pack will be announced at Gamescom. That's just my slight expectation, and then it will release late November probably. I hope there won't be like an event at Gamescom, because I will probably not be able to go there, because I'll have like a university week then, but yeah, maybe later on there will be something different. By the way, here I've started creating the bedrooms, which I should probably talk about in the end. This house has 4 bedrooms, am I correct? Let me think. 5 bedrooms it has, but one is for yourself sort of to furnish, because I really didn't want to furnish the house anymore, and also I felt like it was sort of a good idea to let you have your own say in what you wanted to add in that own room. So I suggested that it is like a bedroom, but it could also be like a very small gym if it would fit, or just like a study or whatever. And then also the bedroom could be or the bathroom which is attached to it could be something different. The amount of bathrooms in this house is 4, taking into consideration that that one bathroom which I just mentioned is a bathroom. Here we've got the grandma area of the house, also with its own bathroom. It's very simple because I realized that the room was just a little bit too small to add a lot. I could just only add that bed and then that's it. I had to make the room a little bit bigger just to add a very small cabinet. So yeah, that's sort of stupidly designed, I guess, but yeah, oh well. I just really didn't know what to do with the shape. And next time, I just got back from a trip and I started building this, and small jet lag and all excuses, but still. In the end, it looks cool, I think. So yeah. Right now, I'm creating this sort of common area in the house, which is sort of like a second living room, where I added a foosball table and a desk and some chairs, just because, I imagine, having a family, having many children, they want a place to, just play together, and then as a family, they can sit around the foosball table while others play, and maybe one can work at a desk. And also I just had to fill up this place. And this just looks cool. I really like those lights, by the way, which are above the foosball table. I use those a lot in this house, and I will definitely use those a lot in future houses as well, because those lights come with the new pack, and they're modern, they're sort of industrial, but still, you can use them in an industrial house, an industrial modern house, but also just in a regular modern house, but also in this traditional house it worked out. So yeah, you can simply use them like almost anywhere. This is, by the way, the bedroom, which I in the end decided to stop working on because I really didn't know how to fill it up, because I had built like 3 bedrooms already and I knew I had the master left to do, and I just didn't want to finish it. And also I felt, maybe someone wants something different in there, and then they can just create that themselves. This is just a small suggested layout, but then I moved on, as you can see, to the master bedroom. I just dropped something, but don't worry about it, which is sort of divided into like a sleeping area and a sitting area, and also a separate bedroom with a separate bathroom, also with a walk-in closet, which you had to go through to enter the bedroom. It's not the most logical and best way to do it, maybe, but still, this was the best way it worked out in the layout of this house. So I guess in that way it's still good. But man, this video was really long. I did my best to sort of get like one story going, and yeah, actually there were very many stories, but I hope it was sort of understandable what I all said. Anyways, thank you very much. If you actually managed to watch up till this point, please comment Panda, like always, because that's when I know that people actually watched this far. Awesome. And yeah, I hope you still enjoyed the commentary. I hope you liked the house. If you did, don't forget to leave a like on this video. Don't forget to subscribe as well to my channel, and then enjoy the overview, which is coming in just a few seconds. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you back later.